Text. Take note.
Video 2. The Social Model of Disability and Violence.
This series was filmed on the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri Woiwurrung people of the Kulin Nation. We pay our respects to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples, past and present, and we value Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander histories, cultures and knowledge. The host in this video, Talie, speaks individually while seated within a studio.
Did you know in Australia about 20% of people have a disability? In this video, we'll explain what we mean by disability and how the way we can view disability can increase violence against women and girls. Defining disability. While there's no one single definition or model of disability, a well-recognised definition to follow comes from the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, or CRPD. It defines disability as long-term physical, cognitive, sensory and psychosocial impairments, including chronic illness, which in interaction with various barriers may hinder a person's full and effective participation in society on equal basis with others. Everyone experiences disability differently. Some people have multiple disabilities and some disabilities are non-visible. Did you know of the 4.4 million Australians living with disability, 90% are non-visible? People can also be wrongly diagnosed because of discriminatory tools and practices, shame, or other people just not understanding. Evidence shows women and girls with disabilities face more violence than men with disabilities or people without disabilities. This violence can happen more to those who face discrimination like racism or homophobia. The impacts of violence can also lead to people acquiring disabilities. The medical model versus social model of disability. How we think about disabilities changes how laws, systems and communities prevent or encourage violence. In Australia, the rules and plans for people with disabilities mostly follow the medical model of disability, which focuses on what someone can't do because of their impairment. This makes life harder for women and girls with disabilities, leading to issues like neglect, isolation, and even being forced to do things they don't want to do. They are seen as vulnerable people who need protection. In contrast, the social model of disability sees disability differently. It says the problem isn't the person, it's the barriers around them, like not having ramps for wheelchairs or not sharing information in plain English so everyone can understand it. The social model of disability places responsibility on society to remove barriers that create inequality and improve the lives of women and girls with disability. Everyone with disabilities should have the same rights and choices as everyone else and be able to make their own decisions. How the social model helps. By using the social model, we can break down the barriers that keep women and girls with disabilities from being treated fairly and being part of our communities. We can support prevention messages by widely sharing information about how to stop violence against women and girls with disabilities and making sure women and girls with disabilities can join in activities, access all parts of society and are included in decision making.
Text. This video is part of a suite of Changing the Landscape practice resources, produced in partnership by Our Watch and Women with Disabilities Victoria, and supported by the Australian Government Department of Social Services. We thank every project participant that has helped to make this practice resource series. Thank you for generously and boldly sharing your experiences, expertise, and for your leadership in calling for much needed change. Visit ourwatch.org.au or search Changing the Landscape online to find out more about our work and steps everyone can take to prevent violence against women and girls with disability. Violence is not inevitable, it is preventable. Our Watch, Women with Disabilities Victoria.